Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, Nuran Wireless Inc. just filed a Form 6K, and I am seeing a critical update about their financial reporting. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. This filing is essentially an update to their financial statements and discussions, and it gives us a peek into their recent performance. So what we're looking at here is a report filed by Nuran Wireless Inc. It is a Form 6K, which is basically a report that foreign private issuers have to file to make sure us investors have access to the same information that is available to investors in their home country. Think of it as keeping everyone on the same page, especially for a company looking to potentially uplist or be more accessible in the US market. This specific filing is for July 2026 and it is attached to their Canadian filing number, indicating they are using the Canadian system for their primary reporting. Now, an important detail here is that Nuran Wireless is checking the box for Form 40F. This is a bit of a shortcut for Canadian companies reporting in the US, allowing them to generally follow Canadian reporting rules. This is a key step for companies aiming for a US listing, like on the NASDAQ, as we've seen in other news from June. That move towards a US listing often means getting their ducks in a row for SEC standards. The main event in this filing appears to be the restatement and amendment of their financial statements. Specifically, they are presenting their condensed interim consolidated financial statements for the periods ending the 31st of March 2026 and 2025. This means they've gone back and revised previously reported numbers. When a company restates its financials, it is usually to correct errors or sometimes to reflect changes in accounting policies. It's not always a red flag, but it does mean that the numbers we saw before might not be the final accurate picture. We need to pay close attention to what changed. Along with the updated financial statements, they've also filed an amended management's discussion and analysis, or MD&A. The MD&A is where management explains the financial results, discusses trends, and talks about the company's outlook. So with the restated financials, they've also updated their narrative to match. This is important because it shows how management interprets the revised numbers and what story they are telling about the company's performance. And crucially, we have certifications from both the Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer. These certifications, dated the 10th of July 2026, are required by the SEC and essentially mean that the CEO and CFO are confirming that the financial statements and related disclosures are accurate and fairly present the company's financial condition and results of operations. What's interesting here is they are certifying amended interim filings, underscoring the corrections made. Given Nuran Wireless's recent news about widening Q1 losses, these amended financials will be key to understanding the true state of their business as they push for that US listing. Looking at the signatories, Francis Letourneau, the Chief Executive Officer, has signed off on this report. This indicates his direct involvement and attestation to the accuracy of the amended filings. The date of the signature, the 16th of July, 2026, coincides with recent news from the 16th of July. 2026, where Pacific Investment disclosed an 8.8% stake in Nuran Wireless. This suggests the filing is highly current and these amendments are fresh on the heels of significant investor attention. Now let's dig into what these amended financials might be telling us. Although the full statements are attached as exhibits, the core reason for a filing like this is to present updated financial pictures. We've seen reports suggesting Nuran Wireless widened its first quarter loss. An amended filing means the previous reported loss might have been inaccurate, or perhaps the updated numbers show an even larger loss or a smaller one. But the key is that the prior figures are superseded. The network as service or NAS footprint expansion mentioned in recent news is the company's strategy to grow. We'll need to see if these amended financials reflect that growth positively, or if they are being overshadowed by increased costs or other financial pressures. Typically, restatements can happen due to accounting errors, fraud, or changes in accounting standards without the specific details of the amendments. It is hard to say the exact cause, but the fact they are going through this process highlights a focus on financial discipline, which is definitely needed as the company eyes a more prominent US listing. Considering the recent news that Pacific Investment disclosed an 8.8% stake in Nuran Wireless on the 16th of July, this amended filing becomes even more relevant. Major investors often conduct thorough due diligence, and updated, restated financials would be a critical part of that process. It suggests that either Pacific Investment's analysis or Nuran Wireless's own internal review led to these amendments. The fact that Nuran Wireless widened its Q1 loss, as reported by Stock Titan on the same day, makes this filing crucial for understanding the magnitude of that loss and whether the restatement offers any new perspective on the company's operational efficiency or its ability to manage costs in its expanding NAS business. What I'm looking for in these restated financials is clarity on the revenue recognition for their network, as service offerings and a precise understanding of the cost structure associated with that expansion. When companies expand rapidly, especially in a service model like NRRs, it is common to see initial losses. However, the amendments will tell us if management's initial reporting was off, or if the true underlying performance is worse or better than previously stated, for a company making progress towards a US listing. Like the mention of a Form 40F filing to prepare for a NASDAQ listing from June, accurate and reliable financials are absolutely paramount. If these restatements reveal significant, unexpected changes, it could impact investor confidence and the valuation of the company, especially in the volatile micro cap space where Nuran Wireless operates now. Looking at the broader context, Nuran Wireless operates in the communication equipment sector. Their market cap sits around $59 million, with the current price at $4.5, well within its 52-week range. The previous news about widening Q1 losses is a concern, but the expansion of their NAS footprint is their stated growth driver. This amended filing is a crucial piece of the puzzle to see how these two aspects are balancing out financially. The goal of a Form 40F filing and eventual US listing is to access more capital and potentially achieve a higher valuation. For that to happen, investors need to see a clear path to profitability and confidence in the reported numbers. This correction, while potentially unsettling, is a necessary step in building that trust. The risk I am watching is whether these restatements signal underlying issues in their accounting or business operations that could hinder their US listing ambitions or future growth. My biggest concern is that the amended numbers might reveal a more challenging financial reality than previously understood, potentially impacting how quickly or smoothly they can move towards a NASDAQ listing. What I am actually looking for to confirm their strategy is translating into sustainable financials. Whether the NAS growth is truly driving operational improvements and not just masking higher costs. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this analysis helpful, like and subscribe for more, and join our Discord community for further discussion.